Some of the most terrifying individuals within society are those that succumb within society. Those who seem and deem as normal in the outside view, but the deeper you look at them, the more terrifying their secrets are. They're even more chilling than those psychotic villains, those ones that do things to be bad, do things for their own self-love and revenge. These type of people are more terrifying than them because they are within society. They are harder to figure out. They are harder to bring down. That is what makes them a complete monster. The brilliant, bizarre, adventurous world of JoJo's. There are many things that come within this world, and some of it is the wacky villains. You see, every time we see one of these villains, there's always like, oh, where's this random JoJo stand villain at? And then they're just wearing the most wacky outfit of all time and have these like huge personalities, like just show themselves, have this overly overtly amount of confidence, but they have shown that they're evil and that they're insane in the mind, not just by their outfits, but by their actions as well. This is where we see the actions of the one, the only, Yoshikage Kira.
私の名はキラヨシカゲ、年齢33歳、自宅は森王町北東部の別荘。
The man that seems to be normal. He has a normal looking suit, normal looking hair, and is acting like he's normal. He's working his normal job and is just existing. No care in the world, no worry for danger. He seems like everyone is just not a problem to him. No nuisance in his life, no problems within himself. Seemingly as a side character, one that nobody will really mind as the villain. Somebody that just seems to be to himself. That was until we see his secret, his dark secret, and that is his fetishization of hands. You see, Yoshikage Kira is normal. Normal in all sense of life. He lives normally, he dresses normally, he works, he does things that he likes, he goes on dates. All of that, and he has a dark, dark secret. And that dark secret is his fetishization for hands. We see this as one of the first instances we see of this character is him holding a raw piece of hand and eating from it. Unlike other JoJo villains that are very broad, that are very excited for what they do, that are very powerful in what they say, and just their demeanor in general has this sort of presence, Yoshikage Kira is very to himself. He's very minute, and he just doesn't want much trouble. All he wants is to like things he likes and not have any trouble at all. He's not as boastful and confident like Dio. He's not this all-powerful being like Cards. Yoshikage Kira is a man with a weird fetish. From the very beginning, we noticed him as this sort of character that was always in the background. From after the Red Hot Chili Pepper fight to situations where he's with a piece of hand. He was always there from the forefront. He was there from the very beginning. The eerie sense of a villain who has all this eerie feeling stems from the fact that he is living a normal life. While the protagonists are taking care of the antagonists throughout the arc, he is just living, sustaining, and doing whatever he wanted to do. The things that he was doing in the past, like there was no mind. Yoshikage Kira works in his job, a normal job like everyone else, and his home is laid down from his grandparents, as that's the last thing left of what his family owned. But the fact he works a normal job shows the eerie feeling this guy has from the very beginning. From when we first meet him officially is when he accidentally hits Koichi because Koichi ran down the street without even paying attention. The least bizarre way a villain can get introduced is just an accident. That is how the main cast in part 4 of JoJo's was able to meet Yoshikage Kira for the first time. And while they didn't know this guy was Kira, They saw his face, they saw someone random in a car for the first time in this situation. From the very beginning, Yoshikage Kira knew what he was doing was wrong, as when he first met the crew of Part 4, he rolled the windows up and just drove away. The reason for this is because the hand right next to him was right there and could be visible if they looked long enough. All the senseless death that happened in this arc could have been averted by them figuring him out then and there. But because it didn't happen, the more mysterious and the worse things got for all of them. All of this added to the brilliance of this character, the brilliance of this eerie feeling villain who seems to be normal and seems to be hard to catch. For this reason, a lot of fans enjoy Yoshikage Kira and view him as the best villain in JoJo's, as he's one of the more explosive ones I've ever seen. While deeming as calm in demeanor, the closer you get to beating him and defeating him, the more explosive this man becomes. And while he becomes more explosive, his stand becomes more calm in this sense. And while it is very explosive, his stand becomes very tactical in what it does. But the more calm he is, the stand becomes more explosive. So it's a great way for his character to be intervened in this way, or viewed in this way. The defeat of Yoshikage Kira was one that took a long time. One that not only the protagonists had to figure out that this guy was the guy they were looking for, but being able to defeat Kira Queen was also a bigger impact as well. Kira Queen has 3 different abilities. The first is Kira Queen, or bomb transmutation, in which anything he touches becomes a bomb. This is the reason he's able to have these hands, as he's able to control his abilities so well so that the woman or man that's with the woman explodes and he still has the hand with him in order to preserve. The second explosive Kira Queen has a sheer heart attack, a ticking time bomb that bombs the person with the highest body temperature. This one is highly difficult to defeat, as they even took JoJo with high level experience and Koichi working together in order to defeat this thing. And while they didn't fully defeat it, they were able to get to Yoshikage Kira, which led to the first fight between JoJo and Kira.
Killer Queen 第3の爆弾バイツァーダスト
Bites the Dust is an attack in which anything that says its name or his name will explode. It could be somebody figuring out who he is by saying his name, or it could be someone writing his name and then they explode. Anything that says his name is dead. The only person who knows his name is Hayato. Hayato's the son of the body that Kira Yoshikage took after he was figured out the first time. And once Hayato figured out that this isn't his dad, he kept that information in, but he kept seeing the deaths of everyone that could save him because they figured out the name of Yoshikage Kira. This ability is very powerful and is very hard to defeat, because how are you going to defeat someone that if you know who they are, you immediately just die? There are many criteria in order for this to work though, as it's if Hayato tells him who he is. If they figure out on their own, then the activation won't begin, as Rohan Kishibe did figure out who Yoshikage Kira was. The issue is he used Hayato to find out who he is. But while deadly, once a person meets up with Yoshikage Kira and is able to land good blows on him, then it won't matter what Bites the Dust does. It is ineffective. The reason for this man's defeat is because of his own arrogance. He believed because of the abilities of Kira Queen that he's able to do anything and not have any consequences. The multiple times he succeeded, he continued to do different things in order to just win again and again in different ways. The problem is, if you change your formula of winning, there's going to be one time where you lose. That is how we get to the final fight between Yosuke and Yoshikage Kira. And while Yosuke didn't land the final blow, in all actuality, it is one of the more impactful fights of the series. Yosuke, a person who can manipulate creation, he can create things, versus Kira, someone that destroys everything around them and causes absolute destruction. Josuke has a wild sense of personality. He's someone that looks like a thug, someone that just wants to fight people, someone that has just this insane sense of anger within him during situation. He seems like someone that would be kicked out of society, someone that society would deem as bad, and yet he's the one with the creation ability, while Yoshikage Kira, the man who seems normal, the man that seems to be within society, is the one that is the one killing people and exploding them. This thematic choice in design was done on purpose, as it showed that by all sense a design is not the ultimatum on deciding if someone was good and evil, especially in a show which is JoJo's, where every villain has this wild design. Josuke has a wild design as a protagonist in this case, as everything around him just doesn't seem like a good person. Maybe the heart in his chest with his design, but overall he seems like someone that nobody will hang around with, and yet Kira looks like someone that everybody wants to be with. It is such a very impactful messaging and just design that Yoshikage Kira has. And another sense that makes his character powerful is the way he was first introduced, as in his first battle, and the way he was defeated. The way he was first introduced in his first battle, he was fighting against Jotaro and Koichi. The same way he was defeated because of Jotaro and Koichi. Yoshikage Kira wanted to do the same thing against them, wanted to just defeat them by exploding them and not coming up with a great strategy after Bites the Dust was defeated. The reason he lost was because Jotaro and Koichi were able to be quick on their feet and were able to negate Bites the Dust before he even tried to do it again. That is the reason Yoshikage Kira was defeated in the story. As the amount of times he just continued to do things again and again, the more he was able to get defeated. And while the victories he's gained were because he was doing something different, he decided to do too much different in order for these guys to get away with him and figure out who he is before defeating him in the end. The reason Yoshikage Kira is so explosive is the arrogance he gains throughout the story because of Kira Queen, but it's also what he does to everyone around him. His abilities are explosives. But with that, as his character becomes more and more arrogant, more and more insane, his stand becomes more calm and is able to think of the tactical decisions he can do. But at the end, when he had to decide what was the best option for him, he panicked. And that was the reason for his demise. Unlike Cars, unlike Dio, unlike any other JoJo villain, they wouldn't have panicked in this situation. Of course, he would be yelling and stuff like Dio did against Jotaro and Cars did against Joseph, but they wouldn't be trying to do something as dumb as trying to press a button when the opponent he has can freeze or put gravity on an object specifically and push it all the way down. That is why Yoshikage Kira couldn't press the button before Jotaro got to him and beat him. And to think a man died because of the ambulance running him over is such a great way to end off with irony, as the people that heal others and take care of others were the demise of someone who murdered others and made them explode. The irony in that sense was done on purpose, and while people meme his death, it is very thematically powerful with his character. The first murder of Yoshikage Kira was the same person who ended him entirely. Reimi Sugimoto was someone who was murdered by Yoshikage Kira when she was 15. This murder made her seek him for revenge and bring him into the afterlife, where he gets to not be going into heaven or hell, but to be stuck in this abyss where he doesn't know who he is. This is the consequences of his action. If he never murdered Reimi, he would be able to live a normal life. Instead of trying to murder people for their hands, he could have done whatever he wanted with others, as girls in this series, when he was first introduced, did like Yoshikage Kira. This is just his own self-arrogance and a reason to why he has lost. But that's what makes a great villain. That's what makes Yoshikage Kira so powerful. A man that seemed so simple, that seemed so normal, becoming an insane murderer because of something he deems as a dictatory. In this case, the hands that he enjoys from females became too much, which is why he gained the ability of Kira Queen, an ability in order for him to have female hands and not have any problem with them. His symbolism with Josuke as a protagonist, his design, his how he acts in comparison to Josuke, all of it was very fantastically done, and there's a reason why people enjoy Yoshikage Kira. All of these add up to why he's such a great villain. That is why people view Yoshikage Kira as one of the best villains in anime history, because of the things he's done. With this is why Yoshikage Kira is the most explosive villain. Because of the arrogance and actions he's had, and because of Kira Queen, which made everything added up together, makes him this powerhouse and this eerie person in JoJo's, especially in comparison to everyone else who has this huge personality and is very loud and obnoxious. Yoshikage Kira is very reserved.